This video is for the lesson 7.9 homework. We are dividing polynomials again. We are still dividing cubics. So the highest we'll go is x cubed, okay? All right, so number one, what is the name of the values of x such that the y value of the relation equals 0? These are the zeros. These are the x-intercepts. These are the roots. These are the solutions. It's the answer to a quadratic equation. Kason, are you taking your mastery too?
No, ma'am. I don't have time.
Okay. Number two, what is the name of the elements of the range of a function? These are the outputs. The output values are the range. Those are your y values. All right, here we go. First thing goes in the box. Second thing goes out. So a piece at a time. We're going to do x cubed divided by x. So what's x cubed divided by x? So we stick it over the x squared. And then we're going to multiply out. X times x squared is x cubed. 4 times x squared is 4x squared. Subtract by changing signs. This cancels. X squared and negative 4x squared. What's that give me? Okay. So remember, invisible 1 there, positive 1, negative 4 makes a negative 3. Bring everything else down. All right, negative 3x squared divided by x. Negative 3x. Multiply it out. Negative 3x times x is negative 3x squared. Negative 3x times a positive 4 is a negative 12x. Subtract by changing the signs. So this cancels. Negative 7 and a positive 12. Positive 5?
5x.
5x. Bring the plus 20 down. All right, now we've got 5x divided by x. And that's where we should end. 5 times x is 5x. 5 times 4 is 20. Subtract by changing signs. Cancels, cancels. We should cancel there. So remember, when we divide by a linear, our answer should be a quadratic. X squared minus 3x plus 5. But then we have to say what x cannot equal. So we take the second part, x plus 4. Set it equal to 0 and solve it. Negative 4. You can menu 3-1 it. That works as well. All right, number 5. 9x cubed minus 65x squared plus 7x plus 49 divided by 9x plus 7. A piece at a time. 9x cubed divided by 9x. So remember, 9 times x times x times x. This is 9 times x. You can cancel out pieces if it's on the top and the bottom. No, the 9 cancels. So just x squared. All right. 9x times x squared is 9x cubed. 7 times x squared is 7x squared. Subtract by changing signs. Your sign should always change where it cancels out your first term. Okay?
That's going to change to
All right, negative 65 and a negative 7 makes a
negative 72x.
negative 72x squared. Bring everything else down. Okay, here we go. Negative 72x squared divided by 9x. All right, this one, I would split. I would do just the numbers. So negative 72 divided by 9 is a negative 8.
Yeah.
So a negative 8. And then what's x squared divided by x? X. So negative 8x. So you can split this Do just the numbers and then do the variables, if that makes it easier. All right, negative 8x times 9x is negative 72x squared. Somebody do this. 7 times negative 8.
You said what? Negative 56.
Negative 56. X. Subtract by changing signs. So this cancels. And then what's 7 plus 56? My brain won't work that. 63?
Yeah, 63.
Okay. 63x. I'm gonna put this one here. 63x divided by 9x. So the x's are gonna cancel. What's 63 divided by 9? 7. Positive 7. So 9x times 7 is 63x. 7 times 7 is 49. Subtract by changing the signs. Cancel, cancel. That's where we should be. All right. X squared minus 8x plus 7. X cannot equal. So 9x plus 7 equals 0. So you can do it in the calculator. Let me show you two things here. All right. So menu 3-1 will do it. 9x plus 7 equals 0, comma x. And then again, menu 2-2. I want it as a fraction. That's probably the easiest way. I'm not even going to show you. I'm going to show you something else. Okay.
Wait, I have a question.
Okay.
With the x cannot equal,
Mm-hmm.
can't you do the thing that we did whenever we had the column thing, and like so on number 6 it would be negative 5 over 6.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just making sure.
Mm-hmm. Some people can see it, can see that, can see the pattern. But if not, I want them the mathematical, you know what I mean? All right, 7. So now we're dividing by a cubic. X cubed plus 15x squared plus 49x minus 30 divided by x squared plus 9x minus 5. Okay. So x cubed divided by x squared. X. So x squared times x is x cubed. 9x times x is 9x squared. If you notice, I'm not putting plus signs here. I'm going with the knowledge that if there's not a sign, it's assumed to be positive. That way, when I go back and change, I'm not scribbling out. So it's clear for me to see what I'm doing. Negative 5 times x. So here I would do negative 5x because
You're going to make it a plus.
I'm going to make it a plus, and it's easy to make a subtraction into a plus. That's where I go back and I put my signs in. If you need to put a plus sign there and then erase and put a subtraction, do that. I tend to forget because I go, oh, look, it already has a sign. By me not putting signs, I remember to go back and change that sign. All right, so this cancels. So remember, just look at the numbers. Positive 15 and a negative 9. So 15 minus 9, 15 plus a negative 9, any way you want to do it. But what does it give me?
6x
6
squared.
x squared. Okay. 49 and a positive 5 is a 54x. And bring the negative 30 down. All right, 6x squared divided by x squared.
It's going to be 6.
Yep, this cancels this. If you have the same thing on the top and the bottom, it cancels. So it's a positive 6, and this is where we should end. 6 times x squared is 6x squared. 6 times 9x is 54x. 6 times negative 5 is negative 30. Subtract by changing signs. Cancels, cancels, cancels. That's what I need. Now, these are easier to solve when we divide by a quadratic. But it's the x doesn't equal. That's hard. Quadratic formula is probably the easiest thing to do here. So A, B, and C. So quadratic formula, I will write this big on the board if you need it. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. What's my a value here?
1.
1. B is a 9. C is a negative 5. A, B, C, they're in order. So, negative B, parentheses when you swap out a letter for a number. B squared minus 4 times A times C divided by 2A. Do what's underneath. Do that first. So we're just gonna do 9 squared. Ooh. 9 squared. Come on. Minus 4 times 1 times negative 5. And I get a 101. So now I've got negative 9 plus or minus the square root of 101. 2 times 1 is 2. Square root of 101 is not nice and pretty. It's gross. So can we factor?
You want that as a fraction?
Will 101 factor into anything? Is there anything I can multiply together to get 101?
No.
It's a prime number. That is my answer.
10.1 times 2.
That is your answer. This right here is your x cannot equal.
I give you 1. 10.1 times 2.
No, you need whole numbers, baby. I will try to let you know when they're gross. When it's going to be gross. So 8. 8's going to be gross. It's going to be, so your x, I'll even give you this. X is not going to equal a number plus or minus the square root of a number. There's not going to be anything on the bottom. The bottom will cancel out. Okay? 10, there's none. So you don't even have to worry about it. It's just going to be a this. Okay? All right, here we go. Number 9. 10x cubed minus 94x squared minus 54x plus 36 divided by x squared minus 9x minus 9. All right. 10x cubed divided by x squared. 10x. So it goes here. 10x times x squared is 10x cubed. 10 times a negative 9 is a negative 90. X times x is x squared. 10 times a negative 9 is a negative 90. Tack on the x. Subtract by changing signs. So this cancels. All right, negative 94 and a positive 90. Negative 4. Keep the sign. All right, negative 54, positive 90.
It's going to be like positive
36.
36.
36? Positive 36x. Bring down this 36. All right. Negative 4x squared divided by x squared. Negative 4. This and this cancel. Negative 4. So negative 4 times x squared is negative 4x squared. Negative 4 times negative 9 is positive 36. Keep the x. Negative 4, negative 9 is positive 36. Subtract by changing the signs, and everything should cancel. So 10x
Plus.
minus,
Oh.
and then A, B, and C. So here we go. Not if it's gross. If it's nice and pretty, you can, but not if it's gross. All right, here we go. Negative B. So on this one, I would do negative, and then B is a negative 9. Do not lose your sign. Plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4 times A times C.
That 9's going to turn positive.
It will. So negative 9 turns into a positive 9. Then we do what's under the square root. Negative 9 squared. minus 4 times A times C, and I get a 117 divided by 2. 117, will that simplify?
No, I don't think so. It will?
Mm-hmm. The reason, here's the easiest way to tell. 117, add the digits. 7 plus 1 plus 1 is a 9. 9's divisible by 3.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So 117 is the same as 3 times 39. 3 is prime. 39 is 3 times 13. Both of those are prime. This is why I'm going back and I'm teaching logs next unit, because y'all probably don't remember how to do this. If you have something under a square root and you can make a partner match, this right here, 9 plus or minus, I can pull this 3 out, because remember, 3 squared times 13, the square root cancels the exponent of 2. Divided by 2. That's your answer in its most simplest form. And I know I'm pulling information that we learned. Think about it this way. We learned that right after Thanksgiving, right before Thanksgiving. And that wasn't even a lesson that I'm supposed to teach in this class. So again, that's why we're going to go back and we're going to do a whole unit over exponentials and logarithms. So x cannot equal all right, so again, this one does not have it. This one here is going to be a number plus or minus the square root of a number. Whatever comes out on the bottom of, here's quadratic formula if you need it. Whatever comes out on the bottom here is going to cancel out. So, okay, look at it this way. The B value is an 8, right? So you're going to have negative 8 plus or minus whatever's underneath the square root divided by 2 times A divided by 2. This negative 8 and this 2 are going to cancel to a negative 4. All you have to find is this, what's underneath the square root. Okay. I know that does not, we've got 2 minutes to the bell. I apologize. Okay. But that gives you, at least you don't have to do it here on 10. And that gets you most of the way on 8. All you got to do is just do the division. All right, remember, if you're on my list, you're still on for Thursday school. Whatever you turn in, I'm sticking in the grade book. Anything that's turned in starting tomorrow is graded first come, first serve. Okay? If you go to Thursday school tomorrow, though, guaranteed, if you do work in Thursday school, I will grade it. I will stick it in the grade book if you're going to make the effort to get your grade up. You will get one of these if you go to Thursday school. Do not take my folder home. Do not take the pages in this folder home. Work on what you can, stick it back in the folder, and Miss Bristow will stick it in my box. Do not take anything home out of these. Yes.
I threw some papers in yesterday.
I probably haven't yet, but I will.
I have a 69.
Thank you. It'll bump. That's why you're not on that list, because I bumped 69. If you've made the effort for me to bump a 69, and you have, I will bump it. Okay?
Can I come in during tutorials tomorrow and kind of get help on this? 'Cause I don't